We know that every life contains a good deal of suffering. However, what counts is how we respond to it. Many philosophies operate under the assumption that suffering is bad. The ultimate goal for Buddhism, for instance, is the cessation of personal suffering through acceptance and enlightenment. The Stoics, meanwhile, seek to eradicate suffering from our lives through rationalization. Friedrich Nietzsche, the 19th century philosopher, however, thinks such approaches are wrong-headed. He doesn't believe suffering is good for us, but he sees it as essential for achieving greatness and creativity. To accomplish great things, one must learn to endure and even embrace suffering. Indeed, while the Stoics seek to purge us of irrational pain, and the Buddha wants us to escape the cycle of craving and desire, and thus eventually escape suffering, Nietzsche believes that suffering can be seen as an authentic and understandable reaction to life in a chaotic world devoid of order or purpose. In fact, greatness is not possible without suffering. In his 1882 work, The Gay Science, Nietzsche writes, "Examine the lives of the best and most fruitful people and peoples and ask yourselves whether a tree that is supposed to grow to a proud height can dispense with bad weather and storms, whether misfortune and external resistance, some kinds of hatred, jealousy, stubbornness, mistrust, hardness, avarice, and violence do not belong among the favorable conditions without which any great growth, even of virtue, is scarcely possible. If there are things in our lives that we value, then Nietzsche wants us to realize that we cannot value those things without also valuing everything that brought them about." In his notebooks, he writes, "Suppose that we said yes to a single moment, then we have not only said yes to ourselves, but to the whole of existence. For nothing stands alone, either in ourselves or in things, and if our soul did but once vibrate and resound with a chord of happiness, then all of eternity was necessary to bring forth this one occurrence, and in this single moment when we said yes, all of eternity was embraced, redeemed, justified, and affirmed." Happiness does not exist in isolation. Greatness cannot occur without suffering. If we are to affirm life, we must affirm all of it, warts and all. In The Gay Science, he writes, "Only great pain is the ultimate liberator of the spirit. I doubt that such pain makes us better, but I know that it makes us more profound. Though not exactly enjoyable, suffering thus imbues us with a kind of tragic wisdom." Nietzsche elaborates on these concepts through his doctrine of eternal recurrence, urging us to live as if we would want to relive our lives repeatedly, experiencing every heartbreak, joy, and tedious day in endless repetition. Only by wholeheartedly embracing the idea of eternal recurrence can we fully accept Nietzsche's challenge of amor fati.